Salutations humans, my name is Jay, but you can call me Jay, and today we're going to be taking a look at a video I could not believe. I haven't watched the whole thing yet because I want to share this with y'all. For those of you who don't know, I've been a personal trainer for several years, for about like 8 to 9. Went to university, I studied fitness, I graduated that college program, and then I did a kinesiology program that I'm still kind of doing. But long story short, I have a basic understanding of exercise, I'd like to believe. Been in the fitness industry for a while. Words are hard. So let's go ahead and take a look at this old man who's going to put us to shame. Also, if you don't know, I'm doing a 365-day challenge. I work out every single day, maybe forever. We're at day 150. Anyway, I'm going to shut the heck up. Let's watch the freaking video.
75 kilos, 20 reps. Come on.
Meet Andy Wilkinson.
Okay, hold on. I know the video just started. Bro, look at this man. Look at him. Look at how huge he is. For age 6.
Meet Andy Wilkinson, the 60-year-old grandfather who has a six-pack that would put Avengers star Chris Hemsworth to shame. Andy, who has 7 grandchildren, is often mistaken for a man in his 30s. If I'm on holiday with my six-pack out,
Is he taking your girlfriend? Is he taking her? Okay, if you said no, then
get approached by ladies in their 30s, and I've been mistaken for my daughter's partner rather than her father on occasion, which is embarrassing, he told a British newspaper.
Talking shit, bro?
When asked about the secret to his enviable body, Andy shares some insights and says, "You can't buy a toned, strong body. You can't hire a toned, strong body. You have to earn it day by day," he says. But overall, I follow 6 principles that help me stay healthy and fit after 60. Andy is a father of 3, Claire, 40, Lee, 38, and Sarah, 36.
So what I wanted to know is, like, if this
he is a father of 3, Claire, 40.
You know, but then, like, I mean, I'm not dogging people, right? Like, his family, like, they look fine, right? Like, they look like they're healthy. They probably stay in shape or whatever. But he,
Lee, 38, and Sarah, 36. And he has 7 grandchildren between the ages of 9 and 13. Despite his age, he is still active and agile, and there is a photo of him with his 13-year-old granddaughter Sophia on the screen. Andy believes that
Guys, keep pausing the video because look at the abdominal separations on this guy. Like, he's so freaking huge. I haven't taken a good look at his legs, but arms, shoulders, chest, like, everything is just, it's crazy. Like, you know, like, and it sounds like I'm falling in love with this person, and physique-wise, yes, man. And you know, if I was a freaking female, would I let him slide in? Probably. Most likely.
Following his 6 principles has helped him maintain his youthful appearance and stay healthy. No. Andy's wife is also enthusiastic about fitness. Looking at Andy's athletic figure and smooth skin with minimal wrinkles, you might think that he never leaves the gym, takes some sort of steroids, and
Sorry. Guys, I know that a lot of you are watching this video thinking, there's no way you can get that fit at 60 years old. It's impossible. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm so dumb, and I don't know so many things about science in the world of literature, that then maybe it's just like, I just don't understand how people get this fit at this age. Because, I mean, I like to think I'm kind of fit. Like I said before, I work out every single day. But maybe he just goes harder than me. He's smarter than me. His diet and nutrition is dialed in, and it could totally be possible, right? Like I don't know the limits of physical fitness when you're going hard. So let's continue.
Strictly follows a diet.
No steroids.
But that's not the case for Andy. He is against very exhausting workouts, all kinds of supplements, and is absolutely against any injections or chemistry that many people are fond of. Throughout the years, he's been working out naturally and believes that this is the only way to maintain both.
I have to keep pausing because those push-ups were, I mean, you know, joint issues, joint stress, right? I don't want to make fun of the guy. Maybe this partial range of motion is good for, you know, chest activation in some way that I'm not thinking of.
He's been working out naturally.
He's near the end of a set, like he's fatigued. You know, like, I'm not going to,
and believes that this is the only way to
I don't know the guy, right?
Maintain both health and youth. Andy says, looking at other athletes, I realized that protein shakes, bars, and supplements won't help you achieve the body of your dreams.
Pause the video again. Guys, protein shakes and protein bars if you cannot get your whole animal protein, are perfectly fine. Okay, well, I mean, they're not optimal. If I were to prescribe something and you had a choice between having protein bars or protein shakes versus having like whole animal protein or some other kind of protein source that has a complete amino acids, that over supplements, just because when you're eating meat and stuff like that, you get certain vitamins that you might not otherwise be getting, especially if you're not someone who constantly visits a doctor to check out your blood work. It can just be healthy to have foods that you know are rich in certain vitamins. Long story short, whole foods are awesome. So I do in part agree with this, but also I'm looking at the protein shakes and bars and like realizing as vegetarians and the people who might not have the convenience or time to get certain protein, and I'd rather you have these things than not have any protein at all. I can understand that a lot of these are processed and they have additives, extra sodium, extra carbohydrates, which can make you more bloated. Like if you're more physique focused, then you might not want to have those extra sugars in your food, which is why like some of the health foods that you find in stores, like the really good ones, are more expensive because they remove less of the bad and give you more of the protein, whatever the heck that you want, which is more expensive.
It's all about proper nutrition, controlling it, and reducing the amount of carbohydrates you consume as you get older. And now, let's find out Andy's main principles of youthfulness.
Maybe actually, I feel like I just said that, but there could be just some people who are just ripping you off. Anyway.
1. Keep calm. Stress ages you significantly. That's why I learned not to worry about anything. I try to live in the moment and not think about the bad things. Living in the moment and not worrying.
His wife must give him the good stuff. Let's just put it that. Let's keep it somewhat PG, but she must be riding him like a fucking.
About the future.
No stress with 7 friggin' grandchildren and kids and all this other shit. How do you live stress free?
Or dwelling on past events can be challenging, but it's a habit that can be cultivated with practice. By keeping a positive outlook and reminding oneself that everything will be fine, we can remain calm and composed even in the face of adversity. I have a motto: everything will be fine. It helps me stay calm and get through any difficulties. 2. A peaceful night. I think rest and sleep are huge factors that. 2. A peaceful.
This video has 1.7 billion views. So okay, anyways. English is genuinely hard. I don't want to sound like a dick, but anyway.
Night. I think rest and sleep are huge factors that make me look so young.
My God.
I don't eat late. I always go to bed before midnight, and I sleep in a completely dark room without my phone. It really helps me to wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day, and works very well in terms of good night's sleep and recovery.
How much is that?
3. Healthy eating. Remember, a beautiful body is 75% diet and only 25% exercise.
Okay, I want to make a note on this. It might not seem like a lot, the small frame here of him going pretty quickly here. Oh, he's also going socks off. That's interesting.
When I turned 30...
Hold on. Go back. That's
exercise.
Boom. You guys see the speed and the explosiveness that he's using? Here's the thing. My specific training, and just to relate this to me for a moment, I train for dance, I train for endurance. So my body is definitely not going to look as chiseled and as bulky as his. But if you see the way that he's moving really explosive, very quick, fast twitch style movements. And maybe that's what he incorporates the most. And that's probably why his physique looks the way that it does, amongst other things that he might be doing.
When I turned 30, I realized that I needed to make some changes to my eating.
But also explosive movements and higher intensity movements, they do have a higher risk for injury. So keep that in mind, especially high impact jumping plyometrics, even though that they're really good for cardio and for, essentially getting shredded. Yeah, but he mentioned that he doesn't like to go too hard during his workouts, but from that speed and that intensity that I'm assuming he brings to his workouts, maybe it's just relative to what he thinks is super hard. It's probably very difficult to do any of his workouts.
Habits in order to achieve the results I wanted. I came to the realization that there was no need to rely on supplements to have a great physique. The most important thing for me was to focus on healthy eating habits, controlling my portion sizes, and reducing my carbohydrate intake as I got older. By doing so, I have been able to maintain a healthy weight, feel more energized, and keep my body looking its best. 4.
Okay. So, oh, freaking ad. Okay, so let's talk about this for a sec. He's talking about eating healthier by using portion control and reducing carbs. So, shit. Okay, so when we're thinking about carbohydrates and what they do, a lot of them have refined and simple sugars, right? So we're talking about your donuts, your sugary cereals, and very simple carbs. Body digests them very easily, very quickly, and because of that, with these sugars and all these foods, they're very easy to consume in excess. Long story short, if you can, you want to choose those slow digesting carbs, things like oatmeal, things with that are high in fiber, beans, etc., more whole food oriented carbohydrates. If you're looking for a carb option, that will be healthier for you. There's definitely a place for having refined carbs in your diet and not, depending on what your goals are and what you're aiming for. But if you're looking for weight loss, having that reduction in carbs or switching to healthier carbs is a better option. And furthermore, to add to that, when you have carbohydrates, your body tends to store more water, right? So just by him limiting the amount of carbs that he's eating, he's going to weigh way less. His physique is going to look different than someone else's. As for portion control, that's an awesome one because at the end of the day, when you plan out your diet, you can't just say I'm eating here, here, and here. You need to know I'm eating here, 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 and how much, right? I think how much is a big thing that people miss. People go, okay, well, I've been eating healthy all this time. I'm eating healthy foods, and I had clients tell me this all the time that they're just not losing weight, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, how much of this portion are you eating of this? Like, how many bananas, berries, whatever kind of fruit salad are you eating? And they're like, oh, well, what's this much? Well, I'm like, hey, like that portion size might be a bit too large. Um, and also, portions help you because at the end of the day, when you are someone who gets fairly lean, you are going to experience hunger throughout the day. It's like a normal thing to be hungry at certain points of the day, and people at that leanness might not view it as starvation. Some people say you're starving yourself if you're not feeling like full and satiated, but I'm just like I'm hungry right now, but I'm gonna eat at this particular time and this particular portion. It's kind of like a disciplinary thing where I'm like, all right, I don't need to eat right now. I kind of want to, or maybe I'm thirsty. But anyways, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent.
Carbs. The older you get, the less carbohydrates and food you need in general. I have learned to adjust my diet accordingly to meet my body's changing needs. These days, I find that a small serving of carbohydrates, like just a few tablespoons of rice or half a sweet potato, is all I need to fuel my body properly. By eating in moderation,
That is a very low amount of carbs in comparison to me. I have like three relatively large servings of carbs in the day. Again, I do endurance-based exercise. I'm curious if this guy runs or if he does anything of the sort. There have been studies on low carb diets and endurance, but
and being mindful of my body's changing needs, I am able to maintain my health and vitality as I age. It's important to listen to your body and make adjustments to your diet as needed, rather than sticking to a rigid plan that may no longer be suitable for your changing needs. Also, I will focus on eating fewer carbohydrates at night. 5. Train no more than 3 times a week.
that's an interesting point there. He says, I cut down on carbs at night. As far as I know, based on what I learned in university, I never really heard of any particular timing of when you eat to be, significant in, I guess, how much you weigh, except if we're, okay, so here's what I've been told, okay? Calories in versus calories out, that is very much important. Of course, nutrition and your vitamins and all of that are important. So I'm not just going to say just eat like a bunch of burgers or eat some burgers and then wait the rest of the day and then you're fine. I don't want to make a point to just telling people to it fits your macros, your life. If you know what and if you don't know what that means, that just essentially means like if you're meeting your calorie intake, then you can just eat whatever. I don't want to make people think that. But when he's saying I only eat carbohydrates or I don't eat carbohydrates at night, there is some validity to that statement where you don't want to be eating at times that throw off your sleep cycle. If you affect your sleep, then cortisol levels, things like these can be affected, and you don't want to be in a position where your sleep is messed up. You wake up the next day, and then you're a bit drained, and then your performance suffers, and then all of these other things can add to weight gain over time. And it's not necessarily that eating at night like puts the fat in you and it makes it sit extra long. I don't think I've ever heard of that being a true thing. It's also true that when you have a meal schedule and you have intermittent fasting, like people do tend to eat less calories in general because they have that shorter time frame to eat, and he has said at nighttime he's not going to eat. So that is what I'm assuming is responsible for more of the weight loss rather than it's nighttime I shouldn't eat. But there is something to be said about being energized and the window for um, when glycogen stores are replenished and all of that. And like it's like, okay, well, maybe him eating at night is um, good and or bad. I mean, I wouldn't know. I haven't looked at the literature that deals with gaining energy or like how effective it is to eat between when you go to sleep and when you wake up. So don't know as much about that, but that's just my opinion on the weight loss bit of it.
Andy says muscles are the foundation of youth, and a strong core is the foundation of health. Looking at his
Train no more than 3 times a week. Okay, so now there's a whole topic and debate in the fitness industry. I don't know if it's still going on. It was on like minimalist training, on like how many days you actually need to train. There was a guy a couple years ago who said he trains, what is it? Was it only once a week or something like that, once or twice a week? Only eats one meal a day, and this guy was like big and like shredded, and like it was this big thing. People were critiquing him. Um, but do you need to train every single day? I'm training every day, right? Is it necessary? I would say no. If you're looking for a physique and for muscle and whatever, probably not. The studies that I looked into that were talking about, well, not even looked into, there was a pretty cool video by Jeff Nippert. I don't know if you know him, but he talked about how many times you'd have to hit a muscle per week to see significant growth in terms of hypertrophy and all of that. And of course, volume and the way that you set your training parameters, sets, reps, rest, all of that is going to affect how the muscle develops. But essentially, twice a week, right? Twice a week is really good to hit the same muscle group. Um, and if you're doing a bodybuilding split and you're hitting a different muscle every single day, then you wouldn't really be hitting it twice a week. So if he's doing 3 times a week, some kind of full body training style, I think that's awesome. That's what I did for the majority of my training when I started. And now I just do full body like 4 times a week. And then I alternate between cardio and full body resistance training. And I do that. And sometimes I change it up a bit. So yeah, I agree that you don't need more than two. I think that if you were smart enough, you could get away with 2 days a week. You could do 2 days a week of really good training, and then shout out to Alpha Destiny who talks about general preparedness work. You could just go like mow your lawn, move around, get your steps in with a very um, high volume day on one day where you hit a lot of your muscle groups and fatigue them, and then a lower volume day with some heavier weight. I think that's awesome. And you work full body, you'll do a lot of good stuff with only 2 days during the week.
this figure, you can see that he dedicates a lot of time to working his core muscles. Andy has been working as a personal trainer for more than 10 years. Andy continues,
Hey,
I
buddy.
usually train with weights 3 times a week for no more than an hour. On other days, I can play tennis.
So, in my opinion, this confirms what I was saying earlier, where I was saying, "Oh, this guy looks like he's more explosive and he's more intense with his training. He's working out for an hour and he looks like that. He has to go hard. So him going like, I don't believe in like over fatigue. I'm like, this guy, Andy, don't you lie to us. You go hard in the gym, my boy. I know you do. Okay, you would have no choice if you only have that much time.
Or squash with a friend, and that's it. Pushing yourself too hard can lead to injuries or burnout, and not
That's
seeing
true.
the desired results can be discouraging. Finding the right balance of exercise and recovery is crucial to achieving overall health and fitness goals. 6. Drink plenty of water. I drink a lot of water, at least 3 liters. Water is
So that's another reason why this guy is probably a lot leaner than most people. Drinking a lot of water will affect you in several ways. Like sometimes it's really good for feeling satiated and curbing your appetite. But also, when you drink a lot of water, and if you've never done this, you can try it. If you drink the amount that he's saying, first of all, you're going to pee a crap ton. But over the course of like a week, if you drink like 3 liters a day, you would lose a lot of just weight from your body. Your body would be flush. Like I'm talking like, depending on the person and how much water you store, like 5 to maybe even 15 pounds, depending on the way that your body's suited. I remember I lost 10 pounds of just drinking water in a week, and I was like, what the heck? Which is really awesome for me because I do calisthenics and I've started experimenting with them. So I like having a lot of water in my diet. It's just I've not been as great with that right now.
is the first thing you need to invest in for your health. You can apply all the creams in the world to your face, but water is the most important when it comes to good skin. When asked if he follows a specific method, Andy replied, "You don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's better to live according to the basics of a healthy lifestyle rather than constantly searching for new and more complicated methods."
I love Andy right now. I think this is so important. With my training over the past while, I've done the same exercises with some variations pretty much forever. Like there's things that I have to do, like corrective work and like stretching and whatever, and improve and I'm still improving and strength's still going up, and there's not really too much of a need to do anything crazy, right? I mean, my training will look a little bit different than someone else's because it's breakdancing focused, so I have had to change some things. But at the end of the day, you don't need a billion exercises to get your routine. As long as you have some form, and I'll go over them right now. Here's what you need. Okay, you need a horizontal pull, you need a horizontal push, you need a vertical push, you need a vertical pull, right? So what that looks like is a chest press or bench, some form of seated row or row, an overhead press style movement, a pull down of some kind, right? You're getting your lats. From there, you got like pretty much all of your upper body, your chest, your lats, rhomboids, like everything in the back here. Boom, right? That's upper body in just 4 exercises, right? And then if you're looking to hit your legs, make sure you have a knee dominant and a hip dominant base move. So make sure you get your squat and your deadlift in there or some variation of those movements. You're good. That is your full body in 6 exercises, and you can throw in some accessories on that here and there. And actually, that's the workout program that I did for a very long time, and it did wonders for me. It changed, everything in terms of fitness. And people who are saying that full body is only for beginners, trust me, you'll get extremely strong, and you don't need to, I guess, worry about if you miss a day. Like if you miss one day during the week, you don't have to panic. Like, oh my god, like you did full body, so you hit everything relatively evenly. Um,
It takes time to recover, and I always make sure to rest at least a day between workouts. Andy's approach to his diet is straightforward and focused on clean eating, much like his dedicated workout routine. For breakfast, Andy
oh my god.
seeded bread. For breakfast, Andy enjoys a slice of seeded bread topped with salmon, half an avocado, and 2 poached eggs. He also likes to have a bowl of chia seeds, flax seeds mixed with blueberries, hemp seeds, and a tablespoon of peanut butter with almond milk. For lunch, Andy usually has Cajun chicken, 3 tablespoons of rice, and some broccoli. Occasionally, he'll add a tablespoon of coleslaw. Dinner time is all about slow-cooked goodness for Andy. He likes to have stewed chicken with sweet corn and frozen vegetables, or a delicious Thai or Indian slow-cooked chicken curry. The thing that I have learned throughout my years of working out is that we are all limitless. The only limitations we have,
like wrap up in my opinions on everything. I think this guy said like pretty much there's it's very hard for me to argue any of it, right? Like it's really good. His diets are high protein, and that's something else that you might want to think about. Having protein mixed in with every meal, just your required daily amounts, right? If you notice, he's not having like 200 grams of protein, 300 grams of protein in his diet. Healthy over 50, that's the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in videos like these, they have a lot of them, I think. So yeah, they're at 39K subscribers. Thank you for watching this video. There's going to be another video coming up really soon. Anyway, goodbye.